Episode uno of the Unite and Win podcast. I've been interviewing my friends for a bit. I've been traveling and tattooing and sitting down and talking with my friends and getting to know them and sharing those experiences with you a little bit. And I've been struggling with names for the podcast, and I haven't really put it up on different platforms other than YouTube until now. And now that's solidified, I'm sticking with the name. The name change is permanent. Get used to it. This is the Unite and Win podcast. And today's episode, I sat down with my good friend Josh in his beautiful living room in his beautiful house in beautiful Melbourne, Australia. And we talked about him coming up tattooing and his pets and his friends and his beautiful shop. And I'm just so grateful to call him my friend. And I'm really excited to share this time we spent together with you guys. So without further ado, this is the Josh Todaro interview.
Cheers. Cheers. Hopefully I don't get any on the equipment.
Little crumb muffin.
That's good.
Crumb daddy. Tell me a story about Crumb.
Is that a fart or the chair?
It was a chair.
Because that's, I reckon that picked up.
That was like
warm. Okay. Yeah.
That was like
These chairs are gonna squeak.
That was like in the Nathan For You episode.
Yeah. I'm sorry. You should really not
Poor
be
girl.
here if you're that sick.
Oh, I'm so full.
Are you sure you want to do this
Oh my
podcast?
god.
Like,
Oh my
we did
god.
just eat.
I just ate a whole pizza.
Yeah.
And I swore I felt it coming up right now. Crumb does not mind. Oh my god. All right, so tell me a story of Crumb. Let's start there. This is where we chat about cats. Then we get to the tats.
Yeah. Crumb's our three-legged cat. I don't know if you can see on the camera, but she's missing a front leg.
Come here, my little ATC.
And yeah, we took her in as a rescue. She's grumpy as she's really. She does get super defensive like that.
Okay.
Not being that she's missing her front leg. It's just her defense mechanism to just be patted until the exact moment she doesn't want to be patted anymore, and then she'll start biting just to get
Just
off.
a cat.
She thinks she has to do that because she's disabled, but
You think so?
yeah, I guess so. I wish she'd learned she didn't have to. It would save Avalon's ankles a lot of pain, as she's usually the one that cops it. She's better with me for some reason, but maybe
She
I don't
gets
annoy
by
her as
like
much.
just fine. It's crazy.
Yeah, shops around like a little rabbit.
Little rabbit lowrider.
Yeah, how did we get her? Just a friend of mine worked at a vet, and this sort of stupid family, I'll call them, brought her in after she'd been hit by a car. She'd been hit by the car on the Friday, and they brought her in on the Monday. They waited the whole weekend with her, like this visibly broken front arm. Like we saw a photo of her when she got brought in, and her arms all like twisted, and she can't like stand on it and stuff. And so the people are just like, oh yeah, just put her down. We don't want her anymore. She got hit by a car. And they're like, we don't have to put her down. Like we could
Just-
fix it if you want. And they're like, oh, how much is it going to be? Sort of like gave them a rough figure, and they're just like, nah, not worth it. Just do what you want with her.
Would
blah,
it have
blah,
been
blah.
able to have been fixed if it didn't wait that amount of time?
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, maybe they could have put it in a splint or something.
Right.
I don't know. I don't know if they do that, but it's because it was so bad. It had already been past that point of sort of saving it. So, yeah. Our friend who's the vet is just like, yeah, how about you just surrender her to us and we'll figure it out.
Yeah.
And they're like, yeah, cool,
How about
whatever.
you just fuck off and I'm
yeah.
going to save your cat?
Yeah, and then our friend told us that when they're in the waiting room, the kid's like looking at all these like photos of cats. She's like, we used to have one like that. That one died. Yeah, we had one like that. That one ran away. Oh, remember like Furball like that? It's like, these people shouldn't be having animals. I think like
That's crazy.
if they're just like the flavor of the year, sort of like that's this year's Christmas present. Next year we'll get you a new one, sort of thing. I don't
Right.
like that mentality. So, oh no, our friend just hit Avalon up because she knows she's good at rehoming animals, and she's like, "Do you reckon you could find a home for this?" And we were just like, "We'll take her. We'll pay for the bills. Don't stress." So yeah, that was the story of Crumb. Yeah, she's the best. She's so funny. Such a character. Everyone loves her. And then that's Pocket. we've had her a bit longer. She's just a normal cat. She is special though, but not quite in the same way.
Not in the disabled way.
Yeah.
Just as in a special cat way.
Mm.
So let's get to tats. We did the cats.
Here we go.
Yeah.
Okay.
So how'd you get into tattooing? What's your story? Where did it start? Where did it begin?
Well, actually, I guess it started when I got my first tattoo. I don't know exactly how it came about, but I think me and my friends were on school holidays in year 11. So I was about 16 at the time.
Were you allowed to get tattooed that age?
No.
You'd be 18 here as well, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Sure. Yeah, nah. I was maybe even like 15, just about to turn 16, because all my friends are older than me. So I don't know quite if I'd turned 16 yet. But one of my friends, we were on school holidays, and one of my mates sort of came around to our place, and he'd just gotten tattooed by one of our friends that started tattooing at her house, and she coincidentally just lived like across the road from me. So
sick.
He came to my house like straight after it, just being like, fuck, look what I got. And we were just like, oh my God, like, you got a tattoo, this is sick. Like, we all want one.
Just went for a quick walk in.
Yeah, so me and my couple other mates all just like walked over to her house and were like, we're getting tattooed today. And I was basically just like, oh no, I think I like sat up all night knowing tomorrow was going to be the day. I was like, fuck, what am I going to get? And just like instantly I was just like thinking of cartoons. I'm like, all right, Simpsons, Family Guy, South Park. What am I getting? And then
what'd you get?
I rocked up in the morning. I was like, getting Ren and Stimpy. Let's do it. And so I got it like on my hip, like under my underwear, so like my mum couldn't see me and stuff. Like,
wait, did you get a pair of them, one on each hip?
No, they're both together on the one hip.
Thank
Still got it. It's the only tattoo from that time I do still have, just because it's like
everything is blasted over. Huh?
Yeah. Got a lot of blasts over.
Did she go on to tattoo?
Nah,
like,
she didn't.
No?
Nah, I don't know what her deal was. I don't know even why she started. She just like one day just had a tattoo kit at home and was just like pumping them out like for like a solid month or something. Like, just all of us, we all got one. And I was just like sitting on her couch in a lounge room, smoking a ciggy, drinking a beer, watching TV, just while she's like tattooing my hip. I'm like, fuck, like, pretty funny.
I feel like every tattooer I know, other than me, has been tattooed before they turned 18.
Yeah.
They snuck their way, they found their way, they got their way. No, I waited till my 18th birthday. I wanted to, I just wasn't like...
Seems like the normal way to do it.
I wasn't like unlucky enough to be lucky back then, because I'd be unlucky now, I suppose. But my friend Gabriel, he knew this like gangster kid who he had some like prison equipment that he had gotten from his uncle who taught him how to make it when he got out of prison or something. And we were going to go to his house to get tattooed. I remember it was like this long way to get there, and we got there and he didn't have something. I don't know if he was missing a supply. It could have been anything, but it didn't happen. And then there was also this one dude that lived like by Rutland Park. It was like a few blocks from my school. He's this older dude, like, I don't know how old. I want to say like maybe 50, you know? And he would do like piercings out of his garage, and he'd tattoo as well. And he would pierce, like, I got pierced by him when I was like a kid. Like, he would just pierce anyone. You come in with like $10, $20, whatever, and just pierce you. But he wouldn't tattoo you out of his house, yeah. But he wouldn't tattoo you unless you're 18. Because
what do you think
he had standards, you know?
Yeah. What do you think's worse from coming from both industries, backyard piercing or backyard tattooing? Like, which has more risk?
I think piercing is more unsafe.
Yeah.
Yeah, because a tattoo, like, there's not really... You're gonna heal it, even if it's a horrible tattoo. There's not much in the way of that tattoo healing.
Yeah,
piercing, you have to wear that piece of jewelry, whatever you have in you. That your body has to work around that. Even sometimes a good piercing with good jewelry, with good aftercare, sometimes that can be bumped wrong, or so you have to have like everything dialed in right for you to have the best chance for it to work. And tattooing, I think generally you can be a good tattooer with crappy equipment and still make a good tattoo. You can't be a good piercer with crappy jewelry and make a good piercing. It's only as good as what you install. Yeah. But I got pierced by him, but he wouldn't tattoo me. He was a mysterious dude, but he was sketchy because he was tattooing chicks. So it was like there was girls that had tattoos, but the guys couldn't. It was super sus. And I tried to have a go at like hand poking a smiley face in my palm, but it hurt. I like plucked it in the dead skin. It was like washed off that night probably. And I got tattooed on my 18th birthday. But yeah, I had friends that were like going for it. I guess I just wasn't like tough enough or lucky enough or a woman, you know, because there was times where there's all these little things where it almost happened like at 15. I was going to get the circle jerks, dude, on my forearm, you know, that almost happened. That fell through. But I think the one thing I hear is like my friend Brian, I was interviewing him before, and he just got ballsy and walked in the shop and sat down at 15, just acted like he belonged there. And I've heard a lot of stories like that. And I never really knew that. I just assumed that wasn't a possibility, you know?
Without getting like,
I just didn't know. Yeah, I mean,
up or something.
Yeah, I just wouldn't
it
even.
Definitely doesn't sound like the safer way to do it.
Yeah, I wouldn't even.
Yeah. I don't think it crossed my mind until my mate got that tattoo, and I was just like,
right.
What? Are we doing this? Are we getting tats like these holidays? This is sick. Like,
that is cool.
I don't think I'd thought about it before. Or like, I think I was maybe drawing tattoo stuff at school already.
Whoa.
In that time. Yeah, I think
I was. So was tattooing something that you were like, I want to be a tattooer one day?
Well, like, I'd always been drawing, like, I was always the kid in my class that could draw type thing. And so, like, people were like, oh, drawing up this tat, or, like, you know, would just, like, Sharpie stuff on or whatever. Always not necessarily interest in tattooing. I always, like, wanted to be an illustrator for comic books or something.
That's cool.
Like, that's really what I wanted to do. I used to collect comic books. I used to do these cartooning classes outside of school. That taught me a lot, and I just used to buy comic books. Like, I have a big comic book collection, but I couldn't really read them that well, so I just kind of buy them for the imagery, and like just that was my way of reading comics, was like picking my favorite picture in that one and recreating it. Next, buy a new one, pick my favorite picture, recreate it, sort of thing. So yeah, always had an interest in that, but then I guess when I turned like 16 or something, it's kind of like, you know, people are starting to get jobs and starting to like think about like, oh shit, like school's kind of coming to an end in a couple of years. What are we going to do? And I moved to this like art school that was kind of, I was allowed to ditch like maths and that sort of stuff, and like just do like 3 art-based classes, 2 music classes, and English.
That's cool.
So I did that for the last 2 years of my schooling.
Whoa.
So it was kind of like, and you know, it was really, really laid back school, like casual clothes, call the teachers by their first name. It was very like a university atmosphere. So they were really hitting you with those questions of like, well, yeah, what are you going to do this semester? What's your project going to be like? Maybe try steer it towards something you want to do and stuff. And so I kind of just threw out the idea that, oh, maybe I want to do tattoos or something, like that could be cool. And he's like, yeah, cool, do it. Like,
really? They weren't even like...
Yeah, they were just like, yeah, start researching some stuff, and you can do this semester on tattoo art and stuff. So, in my graphic design class, I was just, the whole year was just tattoo based. So that was year 11. I think...
And so everyone kind of has like, everyone has a curriculum curated to like what they're going for? Like the teacher kind of works with them in a way?
You're just like given a brief of like one term's project was... Pick an existing business.
Okay.
Take an existing business that you think is sort of failing, and like photograph the outside, rebrand them.
Marketing class kind of thing.
Yeah, rebrand them, draw them up a new logo, draw them up merch and stuff. Mm-hmm. So I took a photo of this tattoo shop that was on my way between my house and my school. I just like took a photo of it, keep shitty, sort of photoshopped new signage for them, designed this like wolf as the logo, and drew them up merch and all this stuff. So it was all like sort of tattoo based. And then another thing was just like design an image. Sort of like just design a logo for a client or something. And so I would be like, oh, my client's a tattoo client. They've given me this brief. And it's just sort of like, as long as you can explain it, it was accepted. And like my teachers were really pushing it and really excited about it and stuff. Like, wow, this is like really cool. We've never like really seen this sort of come through this school yet and stuff. So yeah, basically my research was buying tattoo magazines and copying them and stuff. And then, so sort of after I got that tattoo, like that same year, around that same time, I was like, shit, like I could probably do this. Like I could do this better than she's doing it, I think. For sure, like, because it was like, I don't know. Yeah. No offense to her or anything, but like, they weren't great by any means. Like the tattoo's still there. It's in there. It's cool. But I don't know. I had this sort of like cockiness, excitement of like, yes, I reckon if she can do it, I can do it, sort of thing. So like I went and for like my 16th birthday, I like asked my mum, I'm like, can I get a tattoo kit for my birthday? And she's like, hell no. And I was like, no, like just I've heard they come with like rubber skins that you can practice on and stuff. I'm like, I just want to do that. I just want like another medium, because she'd taken me to like airbrushing classes and stuff.
Wow.
And stuff like that. She always like pushed my art. Like,
It's cool. Such supportive parents in that like.
yeah,
that.
supportive
Cool.
mum.
Yeah.
Not dad, but like yeah, my mum was very supportive. She always loved art and my art, and yeah, would always try to push me as much as she could. So yeah, I kind of somehow convinced her to buy me a tattoo kit if I could only tattoo on like rubber skins and not on my friends.
Did you stick to that though?
So no. As soon as it came in the mail, I was like, oh, sweet, I'm going to my bedroom, mum. Like, locked the door, cranked up like death metal, like just to like drown it out. And I just started like fiddling around. I couldn't like, I don't know if it came with an instruction manual or something, but it was like one of those Chinese kits off eBay.
Right.
So maybe it was in Chinese, maybe I just didn't read it, but I knew nothing about anything. I was like setting up these tight threes and like hanging the needle out this far and just like popping it like into my leg, and like
it's like that video on Instagram that was with the chick.
Yeah, yeah, it was pretty much like that.
That's
I don't
you.
know if it was quite like lifting the skin up as far as hers was, but it was like pop, 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 pop,
right.
and like bleeding out. And I was like, whoa! Like drew this like heart here, couple stars here.
And did you have like were you when you're going having a go at it? Were you had the you were just going? You weren't like scared of the?
No, I don't know what I was doing. I think I like drew like something on the skin first, and it was like I remember it was hanging out so far that it was going through the skin, like tattooing my table underneath. Like,
whoa!
It was like, and I was like, whoa, what is this? I'm like, this is crazy. I should try it on my skin because I'm just tattooing the table now. Like, I couldn't work that out, so I thought maybe I'll try this out instead.
Because when I had to go at doing it myself, I was like very like wimpy about it, and I kind of like it sketched my like I'd kind of like blown out, falling out, blown out, falling out. It was hard to get that just to have that will to just even when I'd pierce myself when I was a teenager, it would like I'd pierce my ear, it'd take like half an hour. It's just like, you know, okay,
yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Like I never could just follow through.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess I just started with small enough stuff that it was just kind of like over in 2 lines, and it was just like you could already see it was like all blurry, and I was like, whoa, this is sick. Did another thing, and then above my Ren and Stimpy, I wrote "Oh Joy," like because that's what they always used to say. So I like tattooed that above it, and like that was like
collab.
That was like day one. I'd already done like 5 tattoos and stuff, and I was like, holy shit, freaking out, calling up my mates like, come around, like. And so
it's on.
Yeah, I think literally day one.
Where's your mom at? She in the other room? She where?
She's in the other room. Yeah, she's. I don't know.
She had to have known.
She just I don't know. She's a legend. She just like really likes to like puts a lot of faith in me. I think or something. I don't know. I don't know what it was. I don't know why she would not come and check or something like. I don't know. I was just like, Mom, I'm going to figure this out. Just like, leave me alone. I need to do this. Lock the door, turned up death metal, and just went for it. And yeah, she just kind of was chilled. And then I think after that, when I was tattooing my friends, I'd like kind of wait till strategically she's gone out or something. Right. But she never really left the house much, so there wasn't many options like that. So I pretty much just had to crank music pretty loud every time and just do it in my bedroom. So yeah, I think day 2 was calling out my best mate Jackie. He came around. I'm like, what are we doing? And he's like, I don't know, do some hearts on my belly or something.
Sick.
I think like Ollie Sykes had hearts on his belly or something. He definitely emulated a couple of his first tattoos off Ollie Sykes because it's kind of what we were into at the time, like metalcore, deathcore. And that's sort of, those are the tattoos we were seeing, like the posters on our wall of like, we should get that. Like, and I'm like, okay, get a Sharpie and like, looking at the poster, trying to copy it, and
so were you like transferring stencils on the skin?
No, so no stencils came with anything. It's just whatever I could draw with a Sharpie is what I would do. So yeah, I drew like these 3 hearts on his belly, and he laid down on my bed, and I was just like, all right, you ready? And you obviously know what the belly's like. He was just like like jumping about and stuff, and I'm like, dude, you gotta like you gotta sit still. Like,
Yeah.
So I did these like, three red hearts on his belly, and they're still there, and they're hideous. And so we went.
If you're tatting the table, then they're in there. They probably show up on his back.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, they were about that. So then we went to a party that night, and we were like showing our friends, and he was like, we were pretty cool that night, I think. And then it was just like, that was it. I think like school holidays were over, and then we were back at school, and we were all like showing off these tattoos we'd gotten over school. And then every weekend for like the next few months, I'd have like 2 or 3 friends come around, pay me $10, a tattoo sort of thing. But it was like
minimum.
It was only what I could draw with a Sharpie.
Right.
So like, I think the next one, for some reason, we were all about like getting our stomachs tattooed, just because it's like, I don't think that's any easier to cover than your legs, like from your parents.
Right.
So I don't know what it was, but literally the first like handful of tattoos I did were those 3 hearts on my mate's belly, and then these 2 ghosts on my other mate's belly, like spooky, wobbly, just like whatever I could draw on, like just wobbly shape with 2 eyes sort of thing, there and there, 2 matching ones. And then my next mate was like, I want Pac-Man and Ms. Pac-Man.
Oh.
And then like we'll eventually do like all the ghosts. It was going to be like, it's gonna be like this big like Pac-Man board belly piece.
Fuck
and I'm
yeah,
like, okay, I guess we'll start with the Pac-Man Pac Lady thing. And so you can imagine what freehanding on 2 perfect circles.
Fuck.
You can imagine what stenciling 2 perfect circles would be like.
Yeah, it's hard now.
Let alone drawing them on. So I reckon we spent a good 2 hours of me just like trying to draw on these perfect circles with a Sharpie. And like, we're like, I don't know, like looking in the mirror, like acting as if I could draw it perfect, then they're going to come out right. Like, we're not even thinking about the tattooing part. I've done like 2 terrible tattoos so far. Still don't know how I'm setting up a machine. I don't know how I knew, like, you know, put a needle on a grommet, put that there, put a tube here, put a rubber band around it. I don't know if there was a rubber band around it. I didn't even know if there was a grommet around the needle thing. I don't know what was going on. It was just, I was putting things where it looked, I think maybe like a little diagram came with us, something like that. I'm like, okay, so this is where the bits go. And so, but yeah, anyway, spent 2 hours like drawing like this, and his brother's like, I don't know, man, I think that one's a little bigger. I'm like, oh yeah, yep. Like fully, like, this is my first real client of like, maybe we should move it a bit higher. Maybe that should be a bit smaller. And like, I was going with it. I was pumped. I was like, whoa, this is like a job. Like, I can't believe I'm getting paid $10 to do this. This is sick. I'm gonna like go buy lollies and stuff.
Be rich.
So yeah, I'm just like, we draw him on, and then he lays down on the bed, and like, one line in, he's just like screaming and like leaping about and almost like diving off the bed, and his brother's like holding his upper body down like on the bed, and my mate's got his legs. I'm just like,
there's some action lines in there.
Yeah, I was like, hold still, I can't do it. I think anyway, he came out with these 2 Pac-Man Pac Lady on his belly, and they're blown out and wobbly.
Are they still around? Do you know him still?
Well, yeah, he was actually living with me at the time, and then we had a bit of a falling out, so I didn't see him for a few years, and then he ended up coming back to my shop kind of recently because he was living in the area. I'm pretty sure I saw him then, and then the other night I was just out to dinner, and I was telling the guys this story, and they're like, fuck, you got to get a photo of that. Like,
you got to get like a healed portfolio
I need like
of
a healed photo of that. And so I was like messaging him, and I don't know whether I've got his old number or something, but I didn't get a response. So I don't have like a current healed photo, but on my old computer, I definitely have the actual photos, because I was taking photos of everything. I took photos of like those stars, took photos of those hearts, took photos of those, took photos of every single tattoo I've ever done from then to now. Like, still 100%. Yeah.
Really? 100%. Even like walking stuff, like.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I still take a photo of everything.
Have you kept track? Is it organized? Like, can you actually?
Not really, because that was when I was like 16. That was like my family computer. I was just like uploading them, putting them in like a hidden folder so mum couldn't see it. Hidden folder called like schoolwork 07 or 06 or something, and just like hiding it away. And so they're all there, and then we got a new computer, and then they're all on that computer. And I had that computer up until only a couple of years ago, so that's still pretty active. I've got a lot of old photos.
That's a tricky thing with like technology changing and like old thing. Like I used to like film a lot when I was skateboarding in middle school and high school.
On all these like discs and tapes and shit. It's
yeah.
Like, okay, where are those and how do I even play them?
Exactly. I had a bunch of these little cassettes that popped in my camera. And I was like, well, I know use for these. Yeah, and I really wish I'd kept that stuff. That stuff's long gone, but
yeah,
things just kept moving and changing too quickly.
I reckon in a few years' time, I'll try to bust out that original computer and just like.
That'd be so cool.
They all have like timestamps and stuff, which is handy, so I can really pinpoint like the day I did Tat 1 or like the month. And I definitely know. Yeah, it was definitely in year 11, so that would be 2007 is when I did my first batch of tattoos. Right. Really.
That's so cool. I wish I like had I don't know.
So I know that much.
I didn't the stuff I had document. I'm not very organized, and when I try to be organized, I don't know where to organize things. Like I have stuff that's not backed up into iCloud. I don't know how iCloud works or what iCloud is.
I don't know what it is either. It'd be really handy.
Yeah, if I knew how it worked, it's just like I wish I was like that. Like I saw even Tim, he had like all of his books dialed in on his iPad. I'm like, how'd you do that? And I have some stuff in this scanner app. I have some stuff in my other scanner app. Some stuff in iBook. Some stuff in Photos. And I'm like, I need to like buckle down and figure this out, you know?
Yeah, if anything, I think that older stuff is more catalogued than my current stuff.
Right.
I think I'd be able to find that more than I would be able to find a tattoo I did 2 years ago.
Okay.
It's just like, you know, all the photos just end up on your phone and then that phone breaks and then you kind of get a new one and some stuff
I've
comes
lost
over,
a lot of
some
stuff like
stuff
that.
Doesn't.
Right.
Some stuff you've backed up onto one computer that also broke.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
I think also
back then it was like folders.
But then also you got to think about like you were taking the photos part of the camera, and then now with the cell phone, you could blast off 100 photos without thinking about it. Space is not an issue. These photos aren't really like they're not really valuable. Like you don't really think about them when you take them, and we screenshot shit we never look at again, and so it's just I don't know. It's different than like okay, fucking put this floppy disk or SD card. Or, you know what I mean? It's different.
Yeah, scenario. Yeah, even when I started properly tattooing, I was like taking photos with digital camera,
right?
Putting it onto the computer, putting it in Photoshop, kind of like a black haze around the background, just so it was like this is tattoo I've seen in magazines. They black out the background. I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna do that with every tattoo. So I'm like sitting there manually, like blacking it all out, and so like I was actually taking time with those photos of like I want to get a good one. Gonna put that up tonight. Gonna put that on MySpace tonight, and
fuck yeah.
Yeah. So, but now it's just kind of like.
Yeah, I remember when I first when I got on my apprenticeship in the first shop I worked at. After that, we had to have black haze around every photo to be in the portfolio. Like it was every.
It does look nice.
Yeah, every tattooer had it, but I didn't know how to do it, so it's like I had to kind of.
I don't know how to do it on the iPhone. I would like to still kind of do it. I think it looks neat, but I try to take it in front of a black background sometimes. Right. If it's important.
Sometimes when that studio feature works out, it's cool. The studio light where it just blacks out everything around it.
Yeah.
But it's really hit or miss.
Can do it. I don't have that.
Mine does it, but it's more for faces, and it doesn't really. The issue with tattoos is if you have a black tattoo on your leg next to it, it'll catch that black, so it'll be the tattoo, the leg, and it'll be a chunk missing from their leg. Because they'll think that that's background, so it'll count that like that panther tail.
It's not just like
no, it'll see an image focus, and it'll just see where the ring of light is and cut in. So if it's a leg and there's like a black tattoo here, then there'll be a triangle cut out of the leg, or also the light will focus in the wrong spots. It's really good for what's supposed to be for a face, but I think in a couple of years it's going to be awesome. But it's not like a real photo like with aperture adjusting. It's just like a program. The program is still it's not there yet, you know.
It's weird. I feel like for some reason tattoos seem to be really hard to take photos of.
Especially
I think it's pretty much like the hardest part of the job, because
I don't think I still haven't figured it out.
Yeah, and we even went through this phase of like we brought a Polaroid camera, like sort of one of the newish ones.
I did too, and it looks like shit.
It can't pick up tattoos for some reason.
No,
it's like they're good. You need to be a certain distance away, and then that distance is too far for the tattoo. And then when it's up close, it's just like blurred and washed out or something. It's like, I thought that would have been cool of like, take a Polaroid of every tattoo and have this like just instant Polaroid album that you sort of like
I tried
taking
to do that
old
too.
ones out, just putting new ones in. Because it's like, I liked the physical portfolio. We used to have that at our shop, and first it was you would go print out the photos, stick photos in an album.
Yep.
But that's kind of hard to keep up with.
You know what you can do now,
you need to keep going and printing.
I did with my most recent album, which was like 5 years ago. They
You actually
like
print a book.
Yeah, well, no, I didn't do that. I never got to that point, but you could send it like to Walgreens, like the drugstore we had in the States, and they have an app, and you could log into your Instagram and take the photos from that and print them out. And you can do the physical book, but you could print out these square photos, and you could buy a photo album with square things and you slide in, so each page will have
You don't have
4
to go through and
tabs.
screenshot them all. It just does it.
Yeah, you just go to your Instagram and you log into your
Stick
Walgreens
them on.
app, then you go, this is Walgreens fucking commercial. Yeah, and then you go to your Instagram, you could click the ones you want, and it'll just print them out, and you pick them at the store and you put them in there. But you can also print a photo book there too, and I've done that like last minute. Yeah, that's interesting.
That's the thing, yeah.
I want to get into. I found. Since I've been getting into film stuff, 'cause I got that Super 8 camera. I got in I've been looking on eBay at all these like film cameras for photography and for videography, and there's this like Hasselblad 510 something, and it's like this camera. It's like a hipstery camera, really old one, and you like look down. It's a direct mirror of what it is, and it's like everything's manual and stuff like that. But you can get a Polaroid backing for it. And it's like this.
Pull that slide out.
Yeah.
Is that what he just used in that abandoned show yesterday?
Yes.
It was like that springy looking.
Yeah.
And
That's a Polaroid, but you
this.
can get this one's a different camera, but you can buy the Polaroid. That what's on the back of that. You buy that and click it on the back of that. So you get this like sharp ass crispy photo, but you can pull it out the same way. And I kind of want to like do that to document my tattoos and have these like physical photos. I just like the idea of something like in my hands.
What I was thinking. I was just like,
then I won't lose
take
it.
photos, put it straight in.
There it is, done.
Then the next day, someone comes in and they're just like, "Oh, I just saw this on you." Yeah, it's like current.
Yeah, I love that.
That's the thing. Is like we used to print these photo books, and it's just kind of like, well, in a few weeks or a month, it's like out of date. Now you're just like looking at my old stuff.
I'm worried about the whole
It's kinda
iPad craze too. Like all these drawings, like just disappearing and not having a history of like, a drawer full of line drawings. Like I think the convenience of being able to take so many photos and the convenience of being able to draw so many things, it doesn't have any longevity other than that current timestamp. It's just like social media, that post is temporary, that drawing, the photograph, that video, an Instagram story disappears 24 hours. Everything's so temporary.
Yeah, I've kind of embraced that at the moment. I used to be, when I first started, it was like every drawing I did went into a folder. So I had these like those big thick like ring binder folders with all those pockets just like stuffed with just sketches and drawings and line drawings. And I used to even keep stencils. I don't know why.
I kind of want to do that.
Someone told me that was a thing, so I had this like cupboard full of like just wet purple
kind of
stencils.
gross,
yeah, it's like coming off with Dettol and you just like throw it in a cupboard and it's just like they all just stick together in this big pile. I don't know why I was keeping them for so long. It was like a few years worth of this pile of stencils. Because my boss told me, like, oh, just keep that. You can just use that again.
Whoa.
I was just like, I never did. Because it was like, that never
Blowing
really
out
came
and
up.
shit too, yeah.
You're never really coincidentally going to put, like, Susan back on, like,
just
another
stuff.
husband that wants the same
Let me dig through my sticky pile.
Yeah. It's like coincidentally the same size and shape and whatever. So it's just kind of like, this pile was useless. I was like, I'm not doing that anymore. Throw it out. And then still kept keeping all the sketches. But then, in recent years, it's just kind of been like, as soon as I'm done with that tattoo, scrunch it up. Throw it in the bin. Yeah. I'm just like, I don't even want to see it anymore. Yeah, I don't know.
That's crazy.
I've got the guys that...
I have a pile. And it's sort of keep it organized. It's such a pain in my ass, but I love my pile.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I only keep things that like are from flash sheets. Like someone might pick it.
You need to have that.
Yeah, here it is. Like just I don't have to draw it again. Or if it's just like something generic that I like the way I did it. Like I like that rose. I'm gonna keep that rose. This is gonna be my rose for a bit. Or like I like this wolf head. I'm gonna keep that wolf head. I like this panther head. Gonna keep that. Crawling panther. Keep that. But
you're doing a lot of custom tattooing that doesn't really apply.
Pretty much
every
single tattoo I do.
Like you can't do that zombie sleeve. You can't use that.
Yeah, I can't use that again. So I'm just like, man, I don't even want to see it. It's just going to take up room here. Scrunch.
Move on.
Yeah, the guys at work joke about, I've got this like little pile in near my station that like I'll get into panic mode sometimes of just like, You know, you're just having like one of those days and it's like, fuck, quick, I need a ship. Like, I'm having a ship in 10 minutes. I need a ship. And I'll just like dive into this pile and like, I'm like, no.
Right.
And everyone's yelling, like, what are you looking for today?
Yeah.
I'm like, ship. And I'm like, yes, here it is. Client walks in. See, here's what I've sketched up for you. I've got I just thought, you know, I'd go with this shit, like blah, blah. And then like, I'll change it while I'm tattooing it. Like,
Yeah.
I can confidently do that. I don't need to like redraw it and be like, oh, the sales kind of needs to go that way. Or I'm going to put like dashes on the sails instead of dots or instead of nothing. Or
well, that's why
I'm
I
gonna
keep
put wood
it.
grain on the hull. And,
I feel like I try to do like a very. I don't draw like when I'm drawing things. I'm not drawing my specific idea or. It's if I'm drawing ships, I'm drawing ships today. I'm drawing eagles today. I'm drawing whatever. And then when it comes to the tattoo, like I can spice it up. I can add that name in that banner. I can like make that happen. And I also like being able to like travel and have these line drawings, whether physically with me or in my iPad, and being able to like not have the flash reference. Like how you can color the end today? I'm like, I don't know.
Yeah.
And it's kind of cool because I can like custom tailor it to whatever they're wearing. Okay, they have a lot of green or what, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I like that. I like the just kind of, it's something magic about making on the skin. I think that you can't plan everything before. It just doesn't, you need to try it on. You need to see how it looks on the person. You need to like take it from there.
Yeah.
You know?
I'm definitely about that sort of organic way of creating them these days anyway. That's like,
yeah, I see the way you guys work. Yeah, you guys are like drawing
just kind of draw
appointments
in the morning right before they come in. Like,
I just started doing that.
I almost need that pressure of like
to get it done.
If I'm trying to draw it the night before, I know I don't have to, so I can kind of doodle about. I'm not feeling it, whatever. Like, do I commit to it even though I'm not feeling it just to get it done, or do I scrunch it up and just do it in the morning? So it's kind of like we're just doing it in the morning. I don't have that. I don't, like, my mind is on it. Like, I wake up in the morning, I look at my diary, cool, and
ideas change, and the ideas ideas change, and they don't sync up later, and like, like you're like, how was I going to shade that in when I drew that 3 months ago?
Yeah, that's what I mean. It's like, I'm thinking about the tattoo as I'm drawing it, as I'm looking at the client, as I'm stenciling it on, sort of thing. It's like, it's all just happening that morning, and it's like, I just go for it.
Yeah, I just started doing that like maybe a year ago. Before that, it was back and forth, changing their ideas, so they changed their ideas, and now it's like I try to keep it really, really straightforward, and I find it's kind of hard to like navigate that in the emails and not come off like rude when being straightforward, you know. But I'm like, come in. I want it to just like I want more of that time in real life because I think that's when it's most valuable when the person's in front of me. I just don't want to do that. You know what I mean? The online thing is weird. I don't get it.
Yeah, that's kind of how I book clients in as well. I just like, someone will be like, hey, do you have time for a tattoo soon? And I'm like, yep, November 17, see you there. And they're like, cool. Like, do you want a deposit? Nah, can't be bothered. Like, just, I don't even want to know what you're getting. Just, you've got a couple hours with me. I'll do a tattoo for a couple hours sort of thing.
That's cool.
I don't really do full day sessions. Even if I book him for 3 hours, I only get tattooed for 2, which is sort of mostly the case. It's like I don't care. Like if I just get to have a bit of a breather between the 2 appointments, it's a good thing. I'm not like, oh shit, you only used 2 hours of your 4-hour time. Like how are you going to make up the rest, sort of thing. It's like I'm cool if it's less than what I've booked in. It's kind of like that's a bonus. Sometimes it's kind of like I'll hit him up the night before, just be like, what do you want again? And it's like, oh yeah, we're starting my sleeve, and I'm just like, oh shit, like, all right, let's make this work. And you know, it always seems to work out. It's just kind of like, oh well, coincidentally my afternoon's cancelled, I've got the whole day for you, it's perfect. Like
everything kind of works out, everything can fall into place.
The less I stress about it, the better it is for everyone. If I'm stressing, the client's not going to get a good result. So I just try stay as calm as possible, book everyone an even amount of time. They can use that time how they want. And if they want something big and it's like we don't happen to get through it, like, you know, 4 hours is usually probably someone's threshold anyway. Right. It's like, I'm not really like a large scale Japanese work guy that like people booking in.
Everything we do can be done in an hour, 2 hours.
Yeah, exactly.
With conversation.
Like,
and
with those large scale stuff is like the client booking in knows they're probably going to sit for like 6 to 8 hours. It's like they're prepared for that. I don't think my clients are prepared for that. They see my work online, they assume it's quick. So I don't really book them longer than 4 hours. So it kind of just works out.
So let's rewind back. So So you're tatting from the pad.
Yeah.
You're getting freaky. You're laying them in deep.
Yeah.
So 17 or so. So what happened from there?
Yeah, so then, all through year 12, I was still just tattooing friends on weekends. And,
Had you ever stepped foot in a tattoo shop at that point?
yes. So that was my first tattoo when I was like maybe just turned 16. And then I think about 6 months later, one of my friends came to school with like a proper shop tattoo, and he was like 16.
Whoa.
And I was like, where the hell did you get that?
It's a different world.
He's like, this shop just opened up. They're not asking for IDs for some reason. Like,
Score.
I don't want to like, this is in the past. This is like, I'm not trying to rat on this shop or anything. It actually ended up being the shop I started tattooing at. So I'm actually very grateful. But at the time I think it was Australia-wide, or at least in Victoria, you were allowed to get tattooed 16 and 17 with parental consent.
Right.
So it wasn't that far-fetched, you know.
That's how it is still in Arizona.
You didn't have to
and a
lie
couple
about
states.
your age. You just had to lie about the consent part. So
Wait, so you don't have the parent with you?
There's
a gray area?
You could bring in a written note signed by your parent and then like call them.
Weird, like a doctor's note kind of.
It was like pretty loose.
Right.
When I started working there, it was kind of like...
I'm sure it's self-regulated between tattoo shops. Some shops are
Yeah, that wasn't... I don't think that's how it should have been done, but that's how it was kind of getting by. So basically my mate kind of lied that, yes, his parents wrote this note, said he can do it.
Right.
And so then I just went along with him next time because he's like, I got another one booked in, you should come with me. So I went along next time and just acted all cool. Just like, yeah, I want to book in a tattoo for next time. Like, here's a photo of what I want, blah, blah, blah. And he's like, yep, cool. Like, booked it all in. Like, the apprentice just booked it in for me and stuff. And so I was kind of like just bailed. Came back on the day. Was sort of like, this is what we've drawn up. Sort of setting up for the tattoo. And he's just like, how old are you? I was like, 16. Like, why? And he's like, is your parents cool with this? And I'm like, yeah, it's all good. And he's like, so what happens if, like, your mum comes here? What's going to happen? I'm like, no, she won't. She's cool. Trust me. Like, don't stress. And I don't know. Just kind of got away with it. It was just a slightly different time.
What'd you get?
I got this one on my stomach. It's kind of like based off a Banksy piece, like a girl letting go of that balloon.
Okay, yeah.
Sort of based it on my sister. So it's kind of like a realism version of the Banksy piece. It's kind of weird. I don't know really why I went for that. It was just like, me and my sister were going through some stuff at the time, and I was like, I should really get a tattoo for her. Like, she means a lot to me, I think. And like, I loved Banksy at the time. Like, I had that book.
That was that era for sure.
That book was like so good.
Yeah.
Like, my cousin had just got me that for my birthday, and I was like all pumped on it. And I was like, fuck, that's super cool.
I was
like,
I was stoked when that came out. I got stole it from Barnes & Noble when I was a teenager.
Yeah, so first shop tattoo was right on my stomach, and so I left from school early, met some chick at the bus stop who went to my school, but I'd never met her before, and she's like, oh, should I come along? And I was like, okay. She ended up like holding my hand the whole time, like patting my head, like trying to calm me down, because like obviously by like a couple hours in I was like freaking out.
So it was how long?
Yeah, it took a few hours, maybe 2.5 hours.
You can't tell. I see the heart.
Yeah, so I kind of got my whole front piece around, but it's this girl here and this balloon up here. So
she was kind of lost in that for a second.
Yeah, I kind of like it because she's kind of just like a ghost now.
For
all
sure.
Faded and shit. Yeah, maybe it took like 2.5 hours. I think by like the 2 hour point, I was like, all right, I need to stop. Like, this is fucked. Like, I can't do this. Like, you know, my only other experience is me kind of like scratching about and getting this.
That's like 5 minutes,
shitty thing here. So, yeah, it was pretty. And yeah, to being so young as well, I was like, you know, not prepared. And
yeah, you know what you're in for.
so yeah, this chick ended up like patting my head the whole time, like feeding me water and shit. It was like weird. Still don't even know her name to this day. Don't know who she is, where she was
Just
from.
a little tat angel from the streets.
It was weird. We never didn't like make out or anything. We didn't do anything. She just coached me through my first tat.
Sick, yeah.
And we just sort of like went on our ways. Really weird. So anyway, because I had that experience, I was like, okay, I now know someone that tattoos like professionally. This is like my soon-to-be boss that I didn't quite know was about to be my boss.
Oh, so he was the owner of the shop?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so he did my tattoo. His name's Woody. And so then started going back to my house, tattooing people. I started running out of supplies like that came with the kit. I think it came with 10 or 20 needles or something. So I'd probably done 20 by this point over the course of a couple of months.
Right.
And so I started going to him like, can I have some more supplies? Like, can you help me with this and stuff? And he's like, you shouldn't really be doing that anyway. I'm like, yeah, I don't know. Like, I'm a teenager.
I am,
I don't know. Can you help me out? He's like, well, if you're going to do it, you should at least do it clean. Like, what are you using? I was like, I was using all these disposable tubes. I think I'm running out. He's like, go to Johnny Dollar's shop, buy some steel tubes. You can sterilize them here, buy needles from him.
He was selling supplies at the shop?
Yeah, so Johnny Dollar is still a tattoo supply.
Really?
A supplier as well.
Whoa.
As well as being a tattoo shop.
Okay.
So, yeah, Woody put me onto Johnny Dollar. I think I went straight there, brought, couple lining. I think I just brought lining tubes. I didn't know what shading was. I had one machine that I was just kind of scratching color in with and stuff.
Right.
So I was asking him about it. He's like, well, what are these for? Blah, blah, blah. I'm like, I don't know. Doing tats. And he's like, well, you need a liner, you need a shader. Like, what do you got? And I'm like, I don't know. And so sold me a machine, sold me some tubes, sold me some needles. I'm like, okay, cool. I think I've got everything then. Oh, this story's so funny. I went home and with this new machine, I was like, ooh, sweet. No. This is different. Okay, I was confusing two stories. So I went home and, started using all this stuff. And, I just had this, little Chinese power supply that just, ended up breaking. It just, wasn't working anymore. Nothing was working. I'm like, fuck, I'm, midway through a tattoo. Right. So I kind of, get back on the train, rush back to Johnny Dollar's, who's, an hour away from me. And I'm like, this power supply just died. What do I do? Blah, blah, blah. And he's like, yeah, it's just a Chinese piece of crap. That's what's going to happen. And I'm like, okay, what do? Do you have any new ones? He's like, well, I could sell you another Chinese power supply, but it's just going to do the same thing. And I'm like, well, I really want one that's not going to break.
Right.
And he kind of did the whole, on Simpsons when, Homer goes to buy a computer that needs the internet. And the guy's like, you'll need a top of the line machine for that. The internet? Whoa. So yeah, he basically did that to me. He's like, oh, I don't know, mate. One that's not going to break. You'll need the big boy.
Right.
He brings out this massive, huge, heavy, 50-kilo box sort of thing. That's it was $250, and I was like, holy shit! I don't think I have that money. I might on this card, kind of swiping my card and whatever. I don't know how I afforded it, to be honest. Maybe I think a friend came with me and helped me out with money, and ended up buying this $250 power supply. It's just this huge tank.
One of those Black National ones, the kind of
similar. It's
24 volts.
Yeah. It's just the dial just keeps going. And it's just got those two bits where you need to cut the clip cord, rip it apart, feed it in with the clip cord and foot switch. So show me how to do all that. I'm like, what? Where are the stuff plug in? He's like, you got to do this.
Red ones, black ones.
Do that.
I have something just like that still.
So then we rushed back home, try to get back into this tat, and I was like, plugging my machines in, turning the dial. I'm like, whoa, just
got some power
kept
now.
Turning it. Holy shit! I'm like, how fast can we do this tat? Keep just winding the dial up. I'm staring real close at it, and just bang, the capacitor explodes in my face, and because my mouth was open with shock, this capacitor blew into my mouth. And I'm coughing on all this cotton and shit that's just exploded out of the machine.
For real?
In my throat. I'm
what the
choking on the
fuck?
ground. I'm what the fuck happened? It was this huge bang, a gunshot. I was like, holy shit.
I've never heard of that ever happening.
I just exploded the Johnny Dollar machine I just brought. Because of the power supply he just sold me and my inexperience. So that was okay, don't do that again. So,
did you go back and tell him the story?
Yeah, so then I took the machine back to Woody, who soldiered me on a new capacitor and stuff like that. I was kind of too embarrassed to go back to Johnny Dollar and say, I just turned your power supply up as far as it could go and blew up your machine.
That's insane.
So yeah, that's the first and only time I've ever had a capacitor explode in my face.
I never heard of that ever happening,
It can happen.
It's a powerful power supply.
Yeah, it just...
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it was something like 24 volts or 30
Yeah.
volts or something. It just
Yeah.
kind of kept going. So then, yeah, that was sort of how I was, like, getting into it, getting supplies, continuing the home thing.
Right.
I'm not super proud of the home thing, by the way. Just for everyone out there, I really don't encourage it at all. Really not happy I did it. But, like,
It's just
I
the way
was
it
literally
happened.
at the point of, like... I was like, Mum, I'm dropping out of school. I'm just going to do tattooing. Like, Googling tattoo university, tattoo course.
Oh, no.
Like, I'm, like, that dumb at this point that I don't even know how you learn to tattoo. Like,
Right.
yeah, is like...
And you already go into the shop, too, and you didn't even...
Yeah, it just wasn't, like...
Connecting.
You know, Woody was only giving me so much. He's a very standoffish guy. Like, you only kind of get, like, 5 minutes with him out the front while he's having a ciggy, and he's just like, yep, do this, go. Like,
Can you
sort
blame
of
him?
thing.
Like, is he really going to give us time?
Yeah,
to, like-
exactly. So
Yeah.
I wasn't going to be like, so what school is it again? Like, blah, blah, blah. Like, you know, I'm,
man.
like, searching stuff. I'm like, Mum, like, there's fucking nothing on it. What do I do? Like, and she still doesn't know I'm tattooing friends at this point. I'm just, like, trying to get her more interested in the idea that, like, I'm going to be doing this. So she still thinks I've just been, like, practicing on skins and stuff like that. And,
A few moments later.
yeah, I was doing tattoos, getting supplies, all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And then, yeah, so I kind of, people kept kind of showing up to school with tattoos of mine. And
Uh-oh.
teachers and principals were kind of like, teachers in general were like, what's that on your arm? Like, what is that? I'm like, oh, it's a tattoo. And they're like, where are you getting that? I'm like, oh, Josh is doing them. And I'm just like,
Whoa.
What? And then
Yeah.
teachers and the principal pulled me aside and they're like, I don't think you should be doing this.
Why are you marking these children?
Yeah, I don't think you should be doing that. You should really stop, like, tattooing people at your house and stuff like that. So, and tattooing the students.
Did you reach out
and
to your mom?
Everyone's... yeah, so eventually my mum busted me one day by actually pulling a prank on me in a way. She kind of did the whole, oh, so I've heard you've been tattooing people. And I'm like, what? Who told you? What? And she's like, it doesn't matter who told me. Like, I heard you've been tattooing people. Why are you doing it? I'm like, oh, I don't know. I only did like a couple and blah, blah, blah. Like, start showing her ones I've done on me and start showing her photos. And she's like, you're an idiot. Like, no one told me, but like, yeah. Like, completely like busted myself. Like, she Seinfeld me good. The good, like, kind of reverse psychology. So anyway, yeah, it's kind of out in the open. And so I was just like, well, I'm going to start like asking Woody if I can just work there and stuff like that. So she took me to visit him one day. I sort of like showed him the tattoos I was doing and blah, blah, blah. And I was like, I really want to work here. Like, I want to do this. And he's like, nah. And I'm like, please, I really want to do it. Please, 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 please. And he's like, nah. And so then I just like kind of kept calling him like every week, like just like,
Please.
come to work next week, please. Yeah. And so he's eventually like, all right, you can come in on Mondays and you can just clean and that's it.
That's
I'm like,
cool.
sweet, so sweet. Start coming on Mondays, cleaning. Then I was there like 7 days a week and sort of just did that. It was just like coincidentally when
This is still before you were 18?
Nah, so this is sort of like skipping forward about 6 months where like school's winding down anyway.
Oh, good
So,
timing.
Yeah, like year 12 was finishing up. I'd met Avalon at this point. I'd done a couple tattoos on her at home.
Fuck.
Yeah, pretty much as soon as we met, she's like, tattoo me. I'm like, okay, cool. So then, yeah, that was kind of it. Year 12 winded down, and then I just started working at the shop.
Whoa.
So, like, yeah, kind of like freshly 18.
Yeah. And were you
Yeah.
just straight tatting right out the gate, or did it take some time?
Yeah, so I kind of like, I don't know. I started with a really average attitude of like thinking he hired me because he liked the tattoos I was doing.
Oh, no.
Not thinking he hired me because
Oh, honey.
I basically forced him to, and he was like, really didn't want me there.
Right.
So it was like, I got the wrong idea completely. There was already two other apprentices at the shop.
Oh, no.
So kind of like, I wasn't being treated like an apprentice, like sort of thing. Like they'd been doing it properly for ages. One of them hadn't tattooed yet. One of them was just starting to tattoo. I just swooped in on Monday and started tattooing my friends, sort of thing. And like, I was like tattooing friends, like just every day. I'd do the tattoo and then I'd kind of like cruise home and come in, do a tattoo, cruise home.
Damn.
Come in, use everyone's stuff, cruise home. I'd sort of do this for a few weeks before like Woody just sort of stopped talking to me, doing like heaps passive thing, and then like the other guys at the shop were like, dude, you are not reading the situation well, are you? And I'm like, what? Woody hasn't said a thing to me. And they're like, yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
He's not going to say a thing to you. Like,
that's weird, though, that he's just kind of like...
Yeah, I don't know. It was kind of like the hard love sort of thing. Like,
it's very odd.
You know, you put in what you get out sort of thing.
Right.
I had to really learn that the hard way, and I'm glad I did. Because as soon as they pulled me aside and said that, they're like,
you're blowing
he's
it.
not going to teach you anything. If you want to learn something, you got to ask. You got to stop doing tattoos and just sit and watch. You need to help out here more. You need to be cleaning. You need to be doing stuff. Forget about the tattooing for now. That's not impressing anyone. I thought like me being busy was impressing people, and like, you know,
you thought you made it.
He was like, oh shit, like he's really good. He's doing a lot of tattoos. Like this is gonna be good for business. But it wasn't like that at all. So I basically, just stopped tattooing and just like really tried to do the apprentice thing. I was just like scrubbing floors and doing, you know, just cleaning right. And like really helping him draw stuff and dealing with the clients and being the first one there, being the last one to leave, watching him tattoo, just sitting there, asking him a million questions. And then sort of like became his, like, he actually really loved that, and we actually became really good friends.
And you didn't really get thrown in. You kind of just jumped in.
Yeah, I kind of jumped in head first.
Yeah.
No one pushed me into it. No one wanted me to do it.
Right.
Like,
damn.
No one wanted me to work there, but I just kind of started working there. It's kind of like,
right.
Yeah, I really forced the whole thing. I was just like determined. I was like, yeah, I want to do it. And then, eventually everyone left, and it was just kind of like me and Woody, and then we hired a couple other people, one of which ended up becoming one of my long-term friends, Aaron Hingston. I hired him. He walked in one day with his portfolio, and it was really good. It was like a lot of traditional, like, flash stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And Woody's like, nah, cartoon shit, get out. Like,
really?
Don't want to know about it. And so Aaron kind of like walked off, and I was like, Woody, he was good. I think I want him. He's like, well, fucking, you get him then, whatever. Call him back, whatever. So I called Aaron back, he came back in, we hired him, and that obviously worked out very well because we both ended up opening the Grand Illusion together and still friends. And
so were you trying to do traditional stuff, or were you just street shop doing whatever? Yeah,
just street shop stuff, because Woody was pretty much, you know, jack of everything, but he specialized more in like really crazy detail, black and grey stuff.
Right.
Everything was really tight line, really soft grey wash. Not really like the sort of grey wash realism you would see. Like, he had a really unique way of doing it. It's like, you know, if there was a house in the background, he'd draw the window with like curtains drawn with like a little mum resting a pie on the like, you know, window. So it was like stupid details that didn't even be there, but it was just like you'd look at it and you just be like, oh, like there's the thing, and
there's
like
the pie.
There's the pie and the steam coming off it. It was like, yeah, he was like
just
kind
hungry on
of
that
specialized in this like weird style of like every little feather on every little bird had to have like every hair, and it was nuts. So I was just trying to emulate something that he was doing, just kind of like everything had a tight 5 outline and lots of grey wash, not much colour. Just like, yeah, but similar things. My mate just be like, I want a zombie, and I'm like, okay, cool. I'd kind of just like do this weird sort of realism-y zombie without really knowing what I was doing. The only real background I had was like the drawings I'd been doing in high school and stuff.
Right.
So no real formal like, this is what a tattoo looks like, this is what the line weight should be. It was just kind of like, do your drawings on people, and it was kind of like, okay. So yeah, it was a few years there of like not really doing good tattoos, like, or thinking I was doing great tattoos, but I look back now and I'm just like, what even is that? Like, it's just like a drawing I've done just on someone. It's like not really like, doesn't look like tattoos. So no, by all means, they weren't traditional at all. About as traditional as they got was like tracing something out of a tattoo magazine, maybe a swallow, maybe a ship, but nothing really.
Some imagery, but wasn't even approached with any.
Yeah, it wasn't approached with like a traditional method, by any means. It wasn't until a couple of years in, when I was 21, me and Avalon wanted to do our first sort of like big travel trip. So we decided to move to LA for 3 months in the States. Right. So yeah, I've been sort of like in the shop since I was 18, about 3 years now. Just sort of, I think I'd sort of developed a style by then. Like I'd started using like loose nines because I'd started getting tattooed elsewhere. Like basically the only tattoos I had in the first couple of years were all by my boss and apprentices at the shop. So they're all sort of like this sort of fine line, black and greyish, whatever I'd sort of find in a magazine, be like, I want something like that, and he'd sort of do his own thing. So I didn't really have a tattoo done outside of the shop until I started going to Dynamic Tattoo in Melbourne, because that's where a friend of mine was getting tattooed. Started seeing Matty C there, who he, just from watching him tattoo and asking him questions, I immediately learned that everything I was using was the complete opposite of what I should be using, or like, just this isn't what other people in the industry are using. I thought, like, you know,
you're just in this bubble of
I was in this bubble of like, whatever my boss says is like, that must be what everyone else is doing. Like, this is what every other shop must look like. Right. This is what every other tattooer must use. Like, there's no other way, there's another option, sort of thing. Until, yeah, I saw my mate's sleeve. I was like, that's sick. Who did that? Went and booked in with him. And I was like, I want to get my whole front done. So my first tattoo outside of my shop when I was like 19 was getting my whole front done.
What was it? Like, I saw...
It's like this big like haunted house thing with bats everywhere. It's really into horror, so I was just like, it's a big haunted house.
How many sessions?
Maybe like 14 or something. Yeah. 14 1-hour sessions. Yeah. Barely. It was fucked up. So yeah, that was my first like, not real tattoo experience, but like that sort of experience where it's like, whoa, this is a new shop. Like, I don't know this guy.
Everything's different. This
is very intimidating because I can tell these guys are like real artists and they're doing the style that I think I want to do. And like, you know, so it's like just a lot of pressure. Like stencils the whole thing on, and like 2 lines in, I'm like about to pass out. I'm like, holy shit, like nut. Right. Already I was asking him all the questions like, I don't think I can do this. How do we get through this quicker?
Oh man.
Can we lose some of this? Like full panic mode. Like, yeah. Whether I was even 19 yet, I don't know. But it was like very early on.
Once you get into that mode, you can't really get... Yeah, you have to be... Yeah. I want this. Once you're like, I don't know, then you definitely don't know.
Yeah. But I was still just in that, like, I'm young, I'm crazy, I want to just, like, get big tattoos, look tough, like, you know, like, I want to be a tattooer, I want to be a tattooer that's covered in tattoos, and, like, yeah. And so he bumped me down a few pegs real early on of just, like, drop the cool guy thing, you've got 2 options. I either outline it now with this 14-liner in about 6 hours, or I whip out a 3 now and bloodline the whole thing in about 2 hours. And I was like, the 2-hour one. Do the 2-hour one now. So he like uses a 3 with basically water, and he's just like slicing me. And it's like, fuck. It was the worst experience of my life. I don't know how I got through that, but basically then I had to come back a couple weeks later to actually line my stomach. Like,
so when you made your way to LA, was your front already like done? Were you like,
so that was all already done. So
I'm ready for LA.
Yeah. So
look at my torso.
Yeah, so I think before then, like sort of just before I got over there, the last like 6 months leading up to that, I was pretty happy with my tattoos. I'd learnt to like use loose nines. I was using bigger mags now to actually shade and like pack large areas of colour. So I'd done full sleeves before. I'd started doing portraits because before I started tattooing, I used to paint portraits and draw portraits and stuff. I thought I had a grasp on that, so started doing portraits and everything. And yeah, I had, to my knowledge, a portfolio that I was happy with. So yeah, we went to LA. One of the first days there, I went into High Voltage Tattoo because I was watching LA Ink heaps. LA Ink and Miami Ink, like, as I didn't see the cheesiness in those shows, that was like kind of my Bible at the time of like,
that's cool.
I was like watching him, like, oh, okay, this is how shops work. Like, I like him. I like his stuff. Right. I don't know about that guy. I like him. And then LA Ink started, and I was like, Dan Smith, love what he's doing. I'm seeing him in all these magazines I'm reading, because like he's from New Zealand. These are Australian magazines. I think he was still like getting his
Kind of foot
stuff
over
in
there.
it, or like he'd only just moved to LA, maybe like a year or two before. He was tattooing in Adelaide, so he was in a lot of the Australian magazines that I had. I was like, Dan Smith, that's the guy. Whoa, that's the guy. He's on
It's
TV.
kind of like your home team you're rooting
Yeah,
for.
I was like, shit, this is sick. And he just seemed to be like the most real person on those shows. Like, once I saw him on the show, I was like, oh, okay, these other dudes do seem a little fake. That does seem scripted. What he was saying seemed legit. He was doing good tattoos. He was into hardcore music. I was like, this is the guy I want to get tattooed by when I go to LA. So one of the first days, went to High Voltage. I was like super nervous. I'm like, shit, like he's gonna be there. Like I don't even know. Like I've got my portfolio with me. I'm like, oh, I'm here to speak to Dan, and he's just like, oh, hey, comes over. He's like, just chatting, and he's like, totally normal dude. Like, oh, I was like, oh yeah, we're from Australia. I can tattoo her and stuff. He's like, oh fuck, sick. Like, where are you from? Like, oh, I know that guy. Like, yeah, I used to be there and stuff. And so yeah, we were just like sort of, yeah. He was super cool. He was like, it's that first sort of like meeting of someone you look up to, and they're like, lived up to the expectation. It was like actually a nice guy. I was like, oh, okay, this is cool. Like, I really want to get tattooed. Can we get tattooed while we're here? Like, we're here for 3 months. Don't stress. And he's like, oh, yeah, I'll be able to fit you in a couple of weeks or whatever. Like, don't stress. Just leave your details and stuff. And he's like, do you have your portfolio there? And show him my portfolio. And he's like flipping through and sees this portrait of Dallas Green I did. He's like, what? That's like my mate. Like, what? That's crazy. Like,
that's cool.
This is sick. And he's like, I don't know, seemed to like my stuff, or was being nice enough anyway. And he's like, man, like, where are you working? Do you want to work here? Like, what's your thing? I was like, fuck, I don't know if I can work here. Like, I don't think I'm good enough. Like, he's like, no, like, whatever, we have guests all the time. Like, don't stress, you just like need your own clients and stuff like that. If you can do that, I think that would be cool. I'm just like, I've been here for like a day. I don't really know anyone here or anything. And I'm like, oh, we'll chat about it. Like when I come in for the tattoo, like we'll see. Like, I think I should probably be in a walk-in shop though. Like, you know, just to like get my chops up or whatever. He's like, yeah, cool, whatever. So then ended up getting tattooed by him a couple weeks later, and that was, yeah, awesome. Such a good dude. And then, ended up sort of going around with my portfolio again and came across this Feldman's tattoo parlor. I was like, this looks sick. This looks like what I imagined American traditional shops to look like. Their work all looks good. I was just trying to look for like that similar work that look of what I thought I was into. Walked in, spoke to Brandon Feldman, the owner. And yeah, he let me work there. So I worked there for almost the full 3 months. And I think that's, I would say that's when I really learnt to tattoo, was being in a traditional American street shop.
Kind of tighten things up, give you like a direction of going.
Where like the people knew about the flashes on the wall and knew about the design I was about to put on. Like, you know, I'm drawing up a ship and they're like, what are you just like drawing a ship for? I'm like, I don't know, I'm just like drawing a ship. And I'm like looking at like some, I don't even know like what reference I'm looking at, but I'm like drawing a ship. And Brandon's just like,
this is the ship.
Can you just trace that Sailor Joe ship right there, please? I'm like, I don't want to just like trace that ship everyone's got. And he's like, do you think you can draw better than that ship?
Yes!
And
I love that.
I was kind of like, I don't know. I don't know if I can draw better. I can draw different. And he's like, well...
different's not good enough.
Sailor Jerry used blueprints of ships to draw his ships. So how about you just draw that ship? Because that's what one looks like.
Yeah.
That is
when
wrong.
you figure that out, then you could draw it.
Yeah. It's like, do it right, and then you can do your own thing.
That's the first time someone telling you to like kick back, huh?
Yeah. It was the first time someone was like, there's actually a story behind that. Do it properly. Don't just do what you think it looks like.
That's awesome.
Sort of thing. And so that's when because my boss had always taught me, like, don't look at that stuff. That's all cartoony crap. Like, look at a photo of a ship and, like, you know, do your interpretation of, like, be an artist or something. It's like very, like, it was very frowned upon what traditional tattooing was, or just, like, misunderstood, I think. He just didn't understand it. So, yeah, that's when I was like, they're like, do you even know who Sailor Jerry is? And I'm like, yeah, cool. I've seen the books or whatever. And like, no, do you know who he is? Do you know how important he is? Have you watched his doco? No, I haven't. We all sit down. We all watch the Horace Smoku doco.
Yeah.
We all watch like Ed Hardy videos. Then like the Smith Street docos were coming out. Like the Dan Santoro one like came out that week, and he's like, we're all having drinks tonight. And we're watching this, blah blah blah. And I was like, whoa, like learning about traditional tattooing. And like I built a set of machines with Brandon and wound coils with him and built soldered needles and built clip cords and like doing things that I'm already 3 or 4 years into tattooing by this point. I haven't done any of it yet, sort of thing. You know, like Woody had broken down machines with me, put them back together, explained stuff, but like building a machine from scratch, like winding the coils yourself, like, you know, understanding all that, like really hands-on stuff.
Yeah,
Brandon taught me,
important.
and Brandon, you know, sort of let me in sort of behind the door a bit, and, you know, show me that stuff, which
Wow.
I'm like forever grateful for.
Yeah,
like,
it's invaluable.
Brandon's still a really great friend of mine. At the time, Tally, Matthew, and Bryce O'Prandy were working there, and they ended up buying the shop off Brandon because Brandon was moving out of town. So, yeah, we closed the shop together, went to Home Depot, picked all the colours, changed the name. I sort of like helped him open up what is now the Martlet Tattoo in Hollywood, and
Right.
still really good friends with those guys. I still guest there every couple of years, and
A lot happened in that 3 months, huh?
yeah, it was crazy. It was really crazy. I owe basically all my tattooing to that 3 months, I reckon. Without that happening, I think I just would have stayed exactly where I was in the exact same level of skill, whatever that was.
Right.
Below average, maybe. I probably would just stayed there and just been, you know, your sort of general.
That's crazy
street
how
shop
that trip's
tattooer.
opened a whole new world to you.
It was crazy. So, yeah, it really like started my love and passion for traveling, and it really like set in stone the importance of it, of like being in other shops, seeing how people do things, learning things, you know.
Yeah.
It's something my boss could never do. I kept being like, Woody, you should be like checking out these shops. Like you should be like going around Melbourne and being friends with these shops and seeing how they do things. He's like, no. Because he's from a time of like, you don't talk to your rival shops.
Right.
You know, you don't talk to other shops. You don't see how they're doing it. You do it your way and that's it. And he wanted us to stay in a bubble sort of thing.
How was he with you
So
leaving
it's
to
like-
LA?
To go to LA?
Yeah.
He was cool with it. Like, he knew I was coming back in 3 months, so it was it was sad. Like, you know, it was me, Woody, and Aaron. It was basically just 3 of us, and so, kind of left them to do their thing. So I think it was quiet while I was gone, but I was in touch with them all the time, like, super pumped, and, like, I was excited to get back home. I was like, got to show you all this stuff.
You
Like,
start painting and like come
yeah,
back.
well, yeah, they
change
taught
your
me to
game
paint
up.
flash and everything. They taught me how to spit shade and how to paint flash. Because we'd sort of tried that at the shop, tried to dabble, weren't using the right things, weren't using the right techniques.
Right.
Came back, taught everyone to spit shade and how to paint flash, and like, you know, had all this like new excitement for what we could do at the shop. And I was
Did
like,
it turn Woody onto it a little bit, or is he still kind of?
He's still very stuck in his ways, but like, you know, anytime you showed him something that he saw value in, he was like, that's cool. That I like. And then you try to show him other stuff, he's like, that's garbage. I'm not doing that sort of thing. So it's like hard to get him on the right, like it's hard to get everyone on the same level at that shop. But me and Aaron would definitely just do like everything the same. I was like, we're buying these trolleys. We don't use these open trolleys anymore. We use like toolman, like workman's trolleys with the drawers. Like we used to just use like these open metal things with like one shelf on it, and it's just like piled up stuff. And I'm like, Woody, we need drawers. Like this is what people use, and like we need this equipment. We need ViraClean. Like people spray with ViraClean. People use green soap. People use like, you know, this simple stuff that he wasn't using. You know, he's using like soapy water instead of just green soap and
coming
water.
in, just changing up the whole game. Like,
yeah, he definitely was threatened by that.
I could definitely see that.
But he also was like, okay, if you want to do it. Like, and sort of put me in this like managerial role of like, cool, you run the shop. And I was like, okay. So then, yeah, I'm sort of like 21 running the shop sort of thing. And, you know, I'm buying the supplies. I'm like, Woody, we're using these gloves now. We're using black gloves. Like, black gloves look professional. White gloves don't. They're a little bit more, but that's what it is. And, you know, like making these executive decisions. And I'm like, Woody, we're changing the waiting room. People don't blue tack Cherry Creek Flash anymore. It's like people are hanging good artworks and good paintings in a nice order. It looks professional.
Right.
We just had like blue tacked Cherry Creek Flash like everywhere, like on cupboards, bending around cupboards, and like
it's just all laminated and stapled.
Yeah, laminated and just blue tacked. And I was like, people aren't doing that anymore. It looks professional now. Like, we're doing professional. And I'm like, all the white everything doesn't look good. It looks like a doctor's office. He's like, no, it looks clean. It's like, no, it looks bad. Like, it looks cheap.
Especially when it's not clean.
Yeah, it looks cheap. I'm like, these walls need to be red. The accents need to be black. Like, this is what tattoo shops look like. I've been to them. This is what they look like. Trust me.
I've seen the world.
Yeah, he's like, okay. And so, like, we'd close for a weekend, paint the walls. And, like, the shop was really starting to, like, become this, like, cool custom shop. And, yeah, getting well known. And it was, yeah, I owe that to traveling and seeing other shops and, like, seeing, like, handcrafted things. Like, you know, like, oh, wow, they, like, built that counter. They didn't just buy a counter. Like, it's like, it has a touch to it. So, yeah, I owe a lot to that trip.
That's crazy.
Yeah, I brought a lot back with me and made a lot of long-term friends and really got a grasp on traditional tattooing, I think, which eventually led to my style.
How much longer did you stay with Woody until you moved on?
A few more years. Wow. So then, yeah, I think like,
it was a month.
I think it was maybe 2 years later. I hope it just goes like on the screen and we just don't see anything anymore.
I feel like it did get in
God.
there.
I'm deathly afraid of moths, so I'm just letting you know.
Really?
Yeah.
I think you said this last time. Butterflies too?
Yeah, butterflies and moths. I don't do so well with them, so that's not working for me. Whatever that is. I think we need to get that out. Av?
Moth break.
Where did it even go? I think if it stays over there, I'll be okay. But if it's going to be around this light again, I may need to get rid of it. May need to have a break. But
so did you go into opening the Grand Illusion from there?
Yeah.
Whoa, cool.
So, yeah, it was basically another couple of years of this sort of talk, of me getting like frustrated with the way certain things were happening. Yeah, I won't really go into details too much, but anyway...
Your managerial stuff just turned into you just know how you want it done now at this point.
Yeah, and it was just like, it just got to this point where I was changing something that someone else had created and they were happy with, and I'd be kind of pissed as well if someone walked into the Grand Illusion and was just like, nope, this is how you're running it. I'd be like, get the hell out of here. Like, yeah. So that's...
It sounds like he kind of let it build up with his personality, kind of let it get by, just like before when you came in. He was silent for a while.
Yeah,
all over again.
He did everything he could. I was, you know, I am the way I am. I'm very kind of stubborn, and I'm still that way. And I don't know. I think it's definitely my fault, sort of thing. I think he had something good going, and I couldn't appreciate it. I was just like constantly like, what's the next thing? What's the next thing we're doing? What's the next thing? This needs to look better. This needs to be better. This needs to be better. To the point where it was just like too much. So yeah, me and Aaron sort of decided, because we had another guy there, Lockie, who potentially would want to come with us if we were to move on. We hadn't really spoken to him about it, but it was kind of like, okay, there's me, Aaron, maybe there's Lockie, and then Avalon wanted to start apprenticing as well. And so I was like, okay, there's like, and Aaron's partner also wanted to start apprenticing. So it was kind of like this, like, all right, there's about 5 of us. Like, where are we? Right. We're not going to just find a shop. Because I'd be quite happy to just work for someone. Like, I never dreamed of opening a shop. Didn't want that responsibility. Thought it'd be too much. But I was kind of like, okay, there's about 5 of us. Like, where are we all going to go together that it's going to work, and where these 2 girls can apprentice? And I was just kind of like, okay, let's do like a private thing. Let's find... I've seen shops that have... They're upstairs. They sort of work kind of privately. There's still a door for access, but it's not like tattoo. So we kind of had this idea. We started looking around, found some places, and just sort of did it. And yeah, it was essentially just a private thing, but because I'd sort of like built up this idea in my head of like what the perfect tattoo shop should look like, in my opinion, I kind of just like went for it real hard, like straight away. I was like, these are the colors, this is the furniture, this is how it's looking, this is that. And Aaron was just kind of like, yep, cool, you can do that. Like,
he was used to at the other shop doing
yeah, he's kind of, I think he's super laid back. He's like the best dude. Really, he hates confrontation. He's not gonna like push anything on anyone. It's just like, he's just like, yep, cool, go for it. So we were a perfect partnership in that sense of like, I have an idea and he doesn't argue about it. It's kind of like, I have an idea, he goes with it. Yeah, cool, yeah, I'm on the same page. Like, and we always were on the same page, which was the good thing. I never felt like I was forcing him into an idea. We just coincidentally loved the same thing. So it's kind of like, if I came up with an idea or he came up with an idea, that was the fart. No, that was the chair. Yeah, if I came up with an idea, he came up with an idea, it was the same thing. So it was good.
Perfect partnership.
So yeah, we basically just kind of made it look the way we wanted, like pretty early on, and it was like cool, and it just turned into what it turned into. Like, I happened to just know like a lot of people from traveling who like ended up coming and guest spotting like really early on. Like in the first couple of months we had Bryce and Tally both from LA, and Aaron Carmody as well, and like all these people from overseas like were guessing with us, and it was like, whoa, okay, cool. Like, I think we're an actual shop now where like people guess and people work at and stuff. So it just kind of evolved. I was never like, I'm gonna open up a tattoo shop and we're gonna blow all these people out of the way. And like, we specifically opened it in an area where there were no other tattoo shops, just in this like non-trendy area of town. Like, let's just get this affordable place. It has a door on the street. That's all we need, sort of thing. We wanted cafes and restaurants around, so clients had something to do, something to eat. But that was it. And yeah, it just kind of worked out. Really sort of happy with where we're at, and it's been nearly 6 years now. So
that's crazy.
Yeah.
So when did like Tim and Courtney come
on? So Tim came along pretty much within the first 6 months, about 6 months after we opened.
Whoa. You already knew him from just about town and stuff?
Yeah, when I was on that LA trip, we did a trade together. Like, we both like loved each other's work, so it was like that was our first contact. Yeah, probably a couple years before we opened the shop, and so we stayed in contact that whole time. Bumped into him a couple of times. When we first opened the shop, he was like one of the first people to come and like say hi and check it out. Like, he's such a good dude. Like, we knew straight away we wanted him a part of the team. Like, his work's good, same age, like has that same drive. Yeah, super easy to get along with. And then I was just sort of chatting on MySpace and stuff like that, or probably Instagram at the time, actually.
Yeah, Facebook. Instagram or Facebook probably.
Yeah. So we're just chatting. He's just like, oh yeah, work's okay. Like, I don't know, like not loving it. Like, sounds like you need a change of scenery. And he was like, well, I think the shop might be closing. He's like, the lease is coming up. I don't know what's gonna happen. And I was like, well, shit. Like, let me know what happens. And so, yeah, his shop basically ended up closing. That had been open for a few years.
Right.
Really good shop in town. I don't know why it closed, but it's really funny. Like, I knew straight away the type of person Tim was when he showed up for his job interview with like this handwritten list of like, okay, so what's the cut? What's your thoughts on social endeavors with other
Wait, those are questions
shops?
He had for you?
Yeah. He was interviewing me about the shop.
Man.
Yeah. So he was funny as just like all these like really specific questions. I was like, I wasn't expecting it at all. I was like, okay, this guy's organized. Yeah,
this will work.
I want this guy. This will work. Yeah, and that's the type of person he is. He's like very like almost overthinks everything. Everything is done a certain way because it has to be done this certain way. Right. And yeah, he's funny. Like, still has like handwritten notes all like taped up to his like shelf and stuff. Yeah. Like, call Donna for 3 p.m. appointment. Like, just like just type it on your phone or something. Like, people just don't do things the way he does it.
Yeah.
Anyway, I love that about him. It's funny. So yeah, he came on super early. And then, yeah, Courtney came along. She's been with us for about 2 years. So yeah, she was one of the later ones to come along. We had...
I would never guess.
people
Everyone seems so dialed in. Like, I love
Yeah, like what the team at the moment is,
seems perfect.
in my opinion, like it's the dream team. It's like
Yeah, I
this
love it.
team feels like how it's been from the start. It's like I can't even remember the time before. Like
I would never have guessed. Yeah.
especially me, Tim, Courtney, and Av. Like that's just like that's so dialed in. I can't imagine it any other way. And Dylan is still super new to the team, but already it feels like he's been there forever because I've been tattooing him for about like 6 years, so he's already kind of always on the radar anyway. So he's just like slotted straight in. And now we've got Sully, who's the shop assistant. Sort of, finally bit the bullet and hired a shop assistant to do all those odd jobs.
He's a good
and
mascot.
Stuff that,
I like him.
Being a business owner is like that's the hard part. All the extra things on top of tattooing that I did for 5 years that just like, it's a big weight off my shoulders to not have to do that stuff anymore. Not like the stuff that like I shouldn't be doing this far in. Like I'll gladly do the stuff, but it's like for my own mental capacity and stress, and for the sake of the client, like I need to be like as stress free as possible. Like I can't be like drawing up an appointment, someone yells out like we're out of paper towel, and just be like fuck, like drop everything, run down to the shop, buy a paper towel, come back, like oh shit, rent's got to be paid, pay rent, oh like phone's calling, like just
and you're expected to be creative and make this art for everyone at the same time.
Yeah, sort of trying to be creative at the same time and give people like the amount of time they deserve as a client, I think is really important. And so it's just kind of like, I guess the general thing is like, how do you pay someone like that? Do you get an apprentice and they just do that stuff for free, but then you also have to teach them to tattoo, and then they sort of, the more they tattoo, the less they do that stuff. That was what happened at my last shop is like, man, I would walk into work some days and there'd just be like this girl behind the counter like, hi, how can I help you? I'm just like, I work here. Like,
how
who
can I
are
help
you?
Who are you?
Who are you? Like, and it's just going, oh, I'm the new apprentice. Like, just some chick, no tattoos on her whatsoever. Woody heard she owns a pencil and now she's hired. Like, she doesn't even want a tattoo, no interest in it at all. It's just kind of like, oh, yeah, do you want a job? Yeah, cool. Like, just, I think that's like the old mentality of like apprentices are free work essentially. And more often than not, they might not even go through with the tattooing part anyway. So it's just kind of like milk the free work and the help. And it's great. He was doing the same thing I was doing of like just trying to relieve some mental stress so he can be creative. I see why he did it, but I just didn't want to do that. I didn't want an apprentice. Like I'd already apprenticed Avalon, and like I put my time and effort into that, and that was something I was passionate about. And I don't think I'll have that same passion again. Like, how do you go from apprenticing your wife to apprenticing like some kid? Like, I don't know. It's hard. Maybe I'll find that passion one day, but I'm not there at the moment.
Let's rewind and segue into that. So Avalon was drawing pet portraits, and she was always drawing and stuff like that. Did she always have interest in tattooing as well?
Yeah, she was similar. Always drawing through high school, and went to that same school I did, where she was very creative and stuff. And then, on that LA trip, while I was working, she was at home writing music and drawing and painting. And so, like, as I was learning techniques, I was teaching her. I was like, you should paint like this way, and you should try paint a piece of flash, or try paint an animal or something.
Yeah.
So her instinct was to just start like painting her pets and stuff. So she was missing her cat back home, so she'd paint her cat, and then she'd paint an image of her and her cat with a rose, and it's like started to take this sort of tattoo approach. And I was like, you should just like paint people's pet portraits. That's it. Because I think she started posting them, and people were like, oh, paint mine. Oh yeah. So yeah, she just started doing these commissioned pet portraits. She did them for about like 3 years.
Wow.
Like 1 or 2 a week. Like, maybe even more. a few a week, just like smashing them out whilst working full time in retail and stuff. So then, the more she did it, the more of like just these like loyal clients she was building up of like, oh, can I go get this tattooed somewhere else? Or can you paint all my pets? Like, then they have like these 5 paintings and stuff.
Wow.
And it's kind of like, shit, people are getting these tattooed. Like, you should probably just do them.
Yeah.
She's like, yeah, like I'd want to. Like, is that something you'd be interested in? It's kind of like this mutual thing of like, all right, let's start like aiming towards that. And so then, it was like this sort of like 2 years of like, all right, start building up a style, like start painting them with intent to tattoo them sort of thing.
Yeah.
And then, it was kind of like, all right, hold off until we open this shop. Like, I think it's looking like me and Aaron are going to open a shop. Let's hold off. And
so she had a style right out the gate.
Yeah, as soon as the shop opened, she was the helper at the shop sort of thing.
But when she got into tattooing, she already had her thing. Like, it didn't have to get
the she already had clientele and everything. It was kind of just like...
That's cool.
So easy. So, she was an apprentice for a year before she did her first tattoo, and it was when we had a guest, Mitch 13. He's a really good friend of ours. He was guessing with us, and he's like, "What the fuck? Like, you've been an apprentice for like a year. Like, have you done a tattoo yet?" And she's like, "No, I'm too scared. Like, blah blah."
Mm-hmm.
Even though she'd like tattooed those like pound of flesh hands a couple times. Like,
okay, yeah.
She was learning. Like, that whole year she was learning. Like, watching me tattoo, setting up machines, like understanding it all. I just wanted her to like know what doing a tattoo was like in her head before she did it, so that
the questions
when that first one happened, it felt natural.
Right.
So he was like, do it. Like, you're doing it now. We're all watching. Like, tonight's the night. And she's like, fuck. Like, seriously? He's like, yep, you're doing a rose there. Tonight's the night. And she's like, looking at me. I'm like, yeah, sweet. Like, let's do it. And so she set up, and we all just like watched her, and like I was helping her like stretch her leg, and she had this like perfect rose tattoo on her leg. It's fucking sick.
On her own leg?
Yeah.
Whoa.
It was a numero uno tattoo. I told her, like, your first one has to be on you. You need to feel it. You need to heal it. You need to know exactly
my
what's
apprenticeship,
up.
I had to do one right there, and like I wanted to like hide it and put it up there. He's like, no, it has to be you have to be, if you want to tattoo people, you have to. This is where you have to do it.
It's like right there.
And I was like, I want to be able to look so I could do this later. He's like, do you want a tattoo? I was like, okay, yeah, all right, and did it.
Yeah,
that's crazy. That's
it was
cool.
gnarly. So yeah, she nailed it. Second one was on me, nailed it, and then it was like, okay, let's, a few of our regulars were like, just give me one. I don't care. Like,
that's
whatever.
cool.
Like, so yeah, it was kind of the first handful were just like sick already. I was kind of like, okay, like I can. Yeah, we can start kind of getting you a few people that, they know, like, I'm going to be holding, like, I'm going to be stretching it for you. You're just going to do the tattoo. And, they were just all friends and
what
stuff like that. Start. So, yeah, she nailed it. Yeah, and then it was just like, obviously clients weren't a problem. She was, that's really doing her thing. And, she's, busier than me, better than me, killing it. It's crazy. She nailed it.
So
very proud of her. It was a very proud moment for me when that all started happening.
Yeah.
So it was just kind of like...
It's going to be hard to top that if you ever... who would you apprentice? Why would you apprentice? Obviously, it's not going to work out that good, so why even dabble into it?
Yeah, and I don't want to do something I'm not going to commit 100% to anyway. I'm not feeling it.
Right.
I can't teach someone at the moment. I'm just like... doing my thing and just like really just trying to hone that in and be the best artist and tattooer I can be. And
right.
I'm just really enjoying it at the moment, so I just don't want to like disrupt that. And now having Sully, the shop guy, like just really helps. Like it's so good. I'm glad I finally like bit the bullet and be like, it's going to be like a shop budget thing. Just going to pay him a wage and just get him to do the job right, not like do it for free for a while or like.
With apprenticeship, that's how it should be. Like, someone should be learning because they need to learn, or they deserve to learn, or they've earned what they had to learn. Like, there's something in them that they need to bring that to tattooing. It's either that's how they came in, or you needed free help, and both find their way in. But I don't know. I think the whole free help thing. It's a 50-50 chance that the person, like you said, even does anything with it.
Or they put all that free help into you, do a handful of tattoos, and then go to another shop or something. You see that a lot. It's like, I'll just get into a shit shop now just to like
get in,
and then I'll go to a good shop or something. Sure. It's kind of like they already have their foot out the door
Mm-hmm.
when they start, which is not right either.
Right.
Like I started at the shop I started at with the intent of staying there forever. Like I was
Yeah.
like, this is the shop. I love this shop. I love Woody. This is it. I've made it. Like,
Right.
and like I had people hit me up from other shops being like, hey, we're opening this shop. Come work with us, with like really good tattooers. And I was just like, no, I'm happy. It's all good. Thanks.
Yeah.
You know, it's not like now where it seems like it's pretty easy to poach people. It's kind of like,
Right.
I don't know if I'm saying that right, but it just seems
No,
like
you are.
it just seems like people are always like, where's my next shop? Like, this is
Right.
cool for the minute, but what's next? Like,
Yeah.
you know, I think the more that's one of the negative things with like the social media and the shows and everything like that.
It's almost
that
too
I
open.
think is kind of like you already know where you want to be, or like you know where, I don't know, people have told you where they think you should be or something. It's kind of like, oh, what do you work there for? Why don't you work here? Like that's where all the good people are or something. Whereas like at the time, no one was telling me anything. They're just like, you work at a tattoo shop? That's sick. I don't care what shop it is. Like,
Right.
cool. Yep, this is sweet. Like, I definitely wasn't thinking like, oh, what if I worked at that shop in Melbourne, or what if I worked at that shop? It was kind of like, I want to get tattooed at that shop, and I like those guys' work, but like, I don't think I fit in there. Like,
I think
my
the big-
family's here. Like,
I think the big thing is that with industry becoming so open, it's like now I think that, you know, before, like, I never knew tattooing outside of my town. Like, I never thought about tattooing the next state over, the next country over. I never thought I'd leave the country. I didn't even know what the next state over was like. Like, I just knew the handful of shops in my area, and that's what tattooing was. And I was afraid to walk in other shops, and it was just closed off and scary. And now I think, you know, it was at that point when once you get a job, you know, I was going for that job. Like, here's what I can do for you. Here's why I deserve to work for you. And now with everyone kissing each other's butts and social media, and then tattooing being so open, which I think is great. I'm here hanging out with you because it's open. I'm hanging out with you. But I think that now it's in a position where anyone can be famous or gain a following or open their own spot or figure it out. Like, and so now it's like when a tattooer comes to work, it's like instead of like, they're more like, okay, well, what can you do for me? Because now they have so many options of like, they can go to all these spots and they feel special, or they can open their own spot. No one will work for them. They'll just teach people. And those people, you know, will leave, and then a couple of them will go on and they can't get on to hire them. So they'll teach more people. And so that's what has me kind of like, I've been doing the private thing for like the past year since I sold my last shop. And I kind of am like afraid with how tattooing is changing so quick. I'm like, I don't know who, like, I don't want to like poach people and ask people, hey, come work for me. So I just assume that, okay, I have no idea who I'd hire. And then I'm not going to teach no one. So it's just like, I'd just kind of do my own thing. When I miss people, just come back and hang out with you. And then go over there and go over there. And I kind of enjoy the freedom of not having to be the boss, because it's like, I think finding a crew, as you found, is like fucking awesome. That's really hard to do. And like, a lot of that's luck, you know what I mean? Just like, it's hard to find good people.
we straight up
They're
just
on the same page.
got lucky. It was pretty crazy. Yeah, especially with Courtney, it was just kind of like, you know, someone that was working with us had told me he was on his way out. Because again, he got offered a better shop,
Right.
with cooler people or whatever.
Yeah.
And I understand that, and it's like that's what everyone's kind of looking for. It's kind of
Everyone
rare
has
to
their next agenda. Everyone's like looking to
it's kind of rare to find someone that isn't interested in that.
Yeah.
And it's like, I was kind of like, shit, what are we gonna do? Like, I guess I hope something comes along. Like, I don't have anyone in. I like, you know, I've got a few people in mind, but yeah, I'm not like in that position to just like leap on someone and start hounding someone like that.
Right.
And yeah, just sort of like woke up one day to this email from Courtney of just like, you know, like me and Tim were kind of, what are we going to do? Like, we need someone that wants to be here. Like, I don't want to just like poach someone that's going to be interested for about 6 months, but then like we're trying to keep them interested of like, we can do this. Yeah, like you were saying, what can we do for you? Like, oh, like,
You want a friend.
are you happy here? Like, you know, like we can get you more business or like whatever. I don't want that to be like this extra stress on me. I want someone to want to be here.
Right.
Like, people have seen how our shop works. if you like it and you want to be a part of it, like, I want you to work here, like, with that attitude.
Right.
And so, yeah, I woke up with this email from Courtney of just like, you know, I've been in there a couple times, like, you guys are the best, like, I love that family atmosphere, that's what I'm seeking, like, I want my next, like, permanent place, like, you know, just, like, really, it was just amazing to, like, hear someone want to be a part of something we've created. It's, like, so special than, like, kind of convincing someone to be a part of it. It's kind of, like, such a different feeling.
Right.
Of, like, yeah, it was just kind of, like, so, yeah, she brought this, like, light to the shop of, like, wow, like, she wants to be here, and, like, this is exciting, and, like,
I love that.
it's cool. So, yeah, again, I guess it's, yeah, got pretty lucky with who we work with. It's just so cool. Like,
And I think there's something special in keeping it small, because I think that things also sort themselves out on their own. Like, if someone doesn't fit, there's no you having to fire them or them to quit. It sorts itself out.
Yeah.
Like, when I came out of, like, in my apprenticeship was a small shop. It was tight, it worked out. But then the shop that I went to right afterwards was like 2,000 square feet, and it was all private rooms. There was like 8 rooms, and you know, this guy hated the boss, and the boss hated him, and boss wanted to fire him, and he wanted to quit. But neither of them are going to make that move because they both need each other. And then the new guy, you know, and then the guy that hated the boss also hated me because I'm threatening the walk-in. I'm taking walk-ins because he's there late. And then like, it was just this shitty situation of, like, there was no team. You know what I mean? And, like, I couldn't feed off anyone. I couldn't even see what they do. They go and tattoo with the fucking door closed. And it was just so bizarre.
Yeah.
You know, and I think that, you know, in a tattoo shop, it's different than other businesses. And it's like, it's very warranted to be sensitive when someone quits or leaves or whatever. Like, you spend 8 to 12 hours a day with this person. Like, you know, you walk how you walk, you talk how you talk, you dress how you dress. You got to kind of like the same music, sort of. You got to be able to rip on each other and be able to also take it on the receiving end. And I think, like, closing those parts off and hiding pieces of the shop, I don't know how that's ever sustainable. Like, I think small...
That breeds an environment for people to come and go.
Yeah.
Shops like that have this high turnaround of artists, and they think that's normal. It's kind of like, who are we getting this month? Like, oh yeah, he's out, let's get someone in. Yeah, it's crazy. So yeah,
and it being small is what attracted Courtney, because she went in and saw, this is what this is. I want to be a part of this. You know, and I think everyone that's there, like, you know, when I'm tattooing there, you know, my clients are like, this feels good. It's a good vibe. It's happy. Like, I love being there. Everyone loves being in there. It's like, it's just good times. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's awesome.
Yeah, like when you tattooed that client's first tattoo the other day, and then I tattooed his partner just because she was hanging around, and she was like, I want that. Does anyone have time? And so I ended up doing it later on that day, and I was like, how'd you go with your first one, man? Like, how'd you go? And he's like, man, I was so nervous on the way here, so nervous. And then, like, I came, and when I was sitting in the waiting room, like, you know, he came kind of early, so, like, we weren't set up yet, so we were just doing our morning breakfast banter of just, like, we all had avocado toast. We're all just, like, starting to drink some coffee and start yelling at each other and starting to put on music and, like, you know, yelling at each other for the choices and ripping on each other and, like, what did we just watch last night? And you know, and, like, I could kind of see out of the corner of my eye he was just, like, pissing himself the whole time. And I was like oh god, he's like, he hates this already. But he's like, man, as soon as I came in, I was just, like, sitting in that chair. I was like, oh, thank God, like, you guys are, like, so funny. Like, I feel instantly, like, at home.
And he traveled
like, it was
far,
just,
so that could be really risky.
Yeah,
on
that's
top of,
what I
like,
mean.
like, I mean, I think my first tattoo experience was scary. I couldn't imagine, like, flying somewhere and then that. Oh, that's scary.
Yeah, there's something about walking into the room and it's already all set up and just, like, people are just kind of yelling and, like, this is what it is. It's like, oh, cool. I'm just gonna be, like, in that today, am I? Not like you walk in and it's like a white wall and there's a receptionist and it's quiet and, like,
you're in it.
Who are you here to see? Sit there, sort of thing. Like a doctor, and you're just kind of waiting, like, what's on the other side? Like, I hear buzzing. Is that scary back there? Like, what's happening? Like, kind of like a dentist. But it's like, you walk in, it's like, you're almost at a house party already. And you're just kind of, oh, cool. Okay. I'm just sitting in someone's lounge. Like, this is fun. Like, we really take pride in creating that atmosphere for people. And it bums me out when I hear that clients have previously not had experiences like that. It's kind of like, it doesn't take much to be fun and welcoming and be like, hi, welcome. Is this your first time here? Well, like, hope you like it. Like, hope you feel at home. and like, yeah, this is cool.
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't take much to do that.
Right.
But so many people don't do it.
That's true. I think a lot of people. I think a lot of it's like people are scared, especially tattooers, like getting into tattooing as a kid. You know what I mean? And I've seen that a lot in tattoo shops, and even Anthony, who I taught apprentice, he had a real hard time like saying hi to clients walking in the door. And it wasn't like him being rude. It was just him being scared.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And hey, loosen up, say hi. Like you're scared, they're scared. See, like you don't want them to experience, like put yourself in their shoes. Just say hey.
Yeah.
It'll go from there.
Yeah.
They came in here for a reason. That's the thing. I think it's like I'm like the tattoo thing is easy for me being the tattooer because I know the conversation and how to navigate it and like but like I can see me being on the other side of that, being like not knowing how to navigate that, not knowing how to pick a tattoo, not knowing how it's going to go on. And if someone comes in like, you know, I'm not going to like name the name, but a very like, I would say like one of the most well-known shops in San Francisco, like incredible traditional tattooing. I was like probably 20. I was in my apprenticeship. It was my first trip, like going anywhere. And me and Yessie went to San Francisco. We visited our best friend up there. That's when I got like the implant and the scarification and stuff. And it was just, we're in San Francisco. It was amazing. And we're walking down like Haight and Ashbury, and there was this shop, and it was just like, that looks really cool. And we walked in and didn't know anything about it. Instagram had just happened. I wasn't following anyone. I didn't have a smartphone, and walk in, and I was just blown away by whatever that was. It looked nothing like what was back home. Kind of like you going to LA, you know what I mean? And looking through the portfolios, and there's a bunch of people in the back, and they're doing their morning routine, but they're doing it like in the back, and they're kind of like, they're all avoiding. None of them want to say hi to who's at front. And
not
maybe
ready for it yet.
Yeah, and maybe they have a shop help that does that, and maybe they're like too good to do it because the shop help's supposed to do it. I don't know what's going on, but we waited there for like, I felt like a lifetime. Maybe it was 5 minutes, maybe it was 10 minutes, but it felt like 20 minutes, you know? And you know, we didn't intend on getting tattooed. Maybe they noticed that, whatever the case was, I don't know. But you know, later on I did find out who that shop was, and ever since then it's had a bad taste in my mouth. Like, you know, like
first impressions last.
Yeah,
time.
forever.
It's hard to get that back.
Like, could have just said hi. You know what I mean? And that really,
I think about that all the time.
That really bums me out. You know what I mean? And it's like, that is such an important thing, you know, and you just never know.
I think me and my shop try to implement the model of, imagine this is everyone's first time they've ever walked into a tattoo shop. Yeah. Imagine they're super nervous. Imagine they're not going to say anything unless they're spoken to. Imagine they're going to ask some dumb questions. Imagine they're really socially awkward, and when they feel dumb, they're going to really feel dumb and not want to come back here. Right. And, you know, don't assume anything. Don't assume because they come in and they kind of look like they're dressed cool that they know what's up, and you can be rude to them and they know how to handle that. Don't do it. Even if they're a super cool dude covered in tattoos, you're like, hey man, like, how's it going? Like, welcome. Have you ever been here before? Like, you know, who are you here to see? What are you getting? Like, you know, it's like, be inviting, and like, if they're unsure, try to help them through something. If they're scared, try to help them out of that. Like, you know,
you're there to guide them. Yeah. They came to you.
You know? I think about it all the time. It's like, you know, like, I'm pretty socially awkward. I'm pretty nervous doing this right now. I'm not a very good, like, public speaker type thing. But when I'm on that side, yeah, I know how to treat clients well. And I know how to, like, put my nerves aside and make them feel comfortable. Right. I feel like if I'm nervous, they're going to be nervous. So, like, I know how to shut it off. Right. But, like, if I go into a clothing store and try to buy a pair of pants or something, I, like, really feel like an idiot. And if someone gives me, like, kind of weird standoffish customer service, like, are you an idiot? You don't know how to buy pants? Like, I feel pretty shit. And, like, I'll leave and not buy the pants and go home and not want to go shopping ever again, sort of thing. It's only until, like, I go into a shop and, like, someone's like, oh, well, you don't know what you want. Like, come, let me help you. Like, don't stress about it. Like, yeah, people hate shopping. Like, this is hard. Like, don't worry about it. Like, it's not hard to make someone not feel like an idiot.
Have
It's
you
really
ever-
easy to make them feel like
Have
an
you
idiot.
experienced
So-
anyone like?
so,
Have you experienced
yeah.
anyone that's ever been like naive and thinking that the way you operate your business is the standard for all businesses, and they go elsewhere, and then they like end up with like, I went somewhere else, and this isn't what I got.
Yeah,
I've
we
been
hear it
getting
all
that
the
a
time.
lot.
We hear it all the time.
Yeah.
People will literally like halfway through their tattoo just like stop us and be like, I just want to say like thanks for like not being a dick, like, or whatever. I'm like, oh, did you like expect us to be or something? And they're just kind of like, oh, like, you know, my last tattoo experience wasn't very good. Like, I went to this shop, and I'm like, oh, like, that's a good shop, isn't it? Like,
Right.
I know them. I've heard of them. And they're just like, yeah, I don't know. They were just really rude there, and I didn't get a good experience. It's like the tattoo's okay, but like, I almost don't even like the tattoo now because I hated the experience.
Yeah.
It's kind of like, just doing a good tattoo is not your job.
Absolutely.
Your job isn't be rude and do a good tattoo, and the good tattoo outweighs it.
I think
It's
the
like-
biggest mistake that tattooers make is
yeah.
that they listen to their clients, they take those compliments, and then they think that that behavior is warranted, and they get in this position like,
Yeah.
you came to me, like, you know, and they really like, they forget like that they're having a service to the public. That's the public. They're paying for a tattoo, and they give them a tattoo, and they just get like, I don't know if it's just Instagram followers or what, but like I don't know. And they get away with it, you know. I think the managers just always knew people coming in, you know. But
It's a shame.
it is a shame.
Yeah, it genuinely bums me out. Like, that just makes me like want to go like above and beyond and just like make sure this tattoo is a really good experience
Yeah.
for them. Like, they've already thanked me because it already has been so far, but I'll like make sure to finish it that way. And like, then at the end of the tattoo, we show everyone at the shop. We do like a show and tell and show everyone.
Yeah, I love that.
Everyone's like, wow, that's an amazing tattoo. Oh my God, like that's so good. And like this person's getting instant gratification 6 times of like their tattoo is awesome. And they're like, I know, like I'm so stoked. And like they just leave so pumped. And like that's how people should be leaving a tattoo shop.
Absolutely.
Pumped. Like that was sick. Whether they come back or not, like you're not doing it for the money. I'm not doing it so like they come back and I get another wad of money. It's like, it doesn't matter. It's just like they deserve to be happy. They've come to you for a certain experience. Like, give them that. It's not, yeah, I don't know.
I love that.
It's, yeah.
Let's end
I
that
don't
there.
know. Yeah.
Grand Illusion, the Grand Illusion, the Grand Illusion, the Grand Illusion. Follow everyone.
Thanks, man.
That's fair, right?
Yeah. Me, Avalon, Tim, Dylan, Sully, Courtney.
Solely before Courtney.
I was like, I thought I said Courtney earlier. I was like, Courtney, haven't said it.
Yeah, everyone will be listed in the description below.
Yeah.
And then you have Instagram, you could type it in. I will have put those written above in our faces. And then if you're listening to it, in the description, look it up. Follow everyone. Thanks for letting me tattoo with you and hang out with you and stay in your home and feed me and drive me around and take care of me. My
Thanks for visiting, man. I really
Australian
appreciate
tat
it.
daddy.
I think that's one of the coolest part about tattooing is like how we can make these friends online, and it's like we can have a brief chat before meeting each other. We already know we're going to be friends, and like getting you out here doesn't seem like such a scary thing. 'Cause, like, don't worry about it. Like, you don't need to bring anything. Just come, have fun.
Yeah.
You know, just you got a place to stay. Don't stress. You're going to be with friends the whole time. And so I think, yeah, and I'll do the same when I come and visit you,
Yeah.
and it'll be cool.
Cats and tats ends with cats. Pockets back.
Pocket.
Oh.
Thanks, my man.